What's up, everybody? This is Jimmy with Trading Decoded. It is August 22nd, 2024, and it's 4:06 in the afternoon. Buy SPYLIESIA is what we're going to go with today because, well, SPY decided it was going to take a bit of a dump today, and it was glorious. We were able to find several trades to take both up and down, mostly down. We had a great day in the community. Right now, I think the poll is showing a little bit better than 4-1, four greens to every one red. We had a lot of people that were done real early in the day, which is great because, fewer trades often produces more reward. Just had a member today come out and show us that he's been 17 days in a row with one and done trades and has grown his account 925%. Now, naturally, the first question is, well, how big of a position size is he playing? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The fact is that he's finding consistency and he's winning with trading less. Okay, this is something I preach all the time. The fact of the matter is, every trade we take adds a little bit more emotion to the next one you decide to take. The first trade of the day is going to be your least stressful, your least emotional, in my opinion, and it's going to be your easiest trade. After that, depending on what happens on the first trade, is definitely going to affect what you do and how you do it on the second trade, and subsequently continuing on from there. He is a true believer in that now. And so, sometimes doing less is more. But without further ado, let's go ahead and launch the chart and see what we were looking at today. We had some reports come in early this morning. The market didn't react negatively or very positively. I mean, we kind of got a big green candle at 8:30 with the report. We came right back down, and then we settled back into the area that we were in before it came out in the first place. And then we started to trend up in pre-market. So naturally, at 9:25, we were looking for a call put scenario. Call line was a break above or a close above 562.50, with the caveat being we needed Qs to get through this resistance right here, expecting them to run up to this resistance. Okay. The only reason we were looking at calls is because we were putting in higher lows, and this is a wedge that typically likes to break up. This is statistics. This is the way this normally works. Okay. Is it an aggressive trade? Sure. Is it impossible to take them? No, of course it's not. You know how many people in our community were done after this one trade? Wasn't a huge winner, but 27% on that trade, depending on when you got in. Some people got 15, some people got 30, some people got 25, some got 22. I got 27. Okay, we got in because we crossed the line and Qs breached through theirs with some momentum. I believe at the time ADD was going up. Or struggling to move down at that point. Boy, did that change. So all systems were go. A lot of people chose to skip that trade. Now, what is this circle here? This was the stop loss suggestion. So if you were holding on to the trade, hoping to get up to the next line, as you can see, we had an alert there so that we would know if it got there. Your stopping point was if we closed below the teal line, this futures line right here. We did on this candle. So you could still be up in the trade, just gave up a little bit of profit. That's all. Nothing wrong with that. And then what we quickly realized, effectively, 9:34 in the morning, that's when calls came off the table for me. Hang on one second, guys. Calls came off the table for me. Why? Because I don't trade against the Qs. We recognized that the Qs were putting in lower highs as early as 9:34. I told everybody, I said, guys, I can't play calls anymore unless the Qs get out of this downtrend and they start breaking resistances that they've created. I'm going to be looking for reasons to take puts. And what I'd like to see is at least Qs below the pink line, preferably 484.22, because then I would be looking for them to continue down to 483.63. So about a 60-cent drop, and we got that. Okay, and we stayed below the trend line. So our first put entry was based off of the Qs. It was also based off of ADD doing this. Okay, so we had massive selling going on in the market. Again, I don't know what the reasoning was. I don't really care what the reasoning was. I just know I saw what I wanted to see in order to take a trade, and well, we took it. Now on Qs or on SPY, 946 had us breaking back below the support that we had made. So what we were hoping for was a move through this line down to the next line. We got that. And then we held because Qs stayed respecting their trend line, and they made it down to their next line at 951, which is this exit right here. Okay? So that was the second trade. That thing there was fantastic. Now, depending on when you get into these trades, these end up being really, really good moves sometimes. Sometimes they're short and quick, but sometimes they're great. The next trade we were looking for was after 10 o'clock because we had a 10 o'clock report. And it was not much of it was like kind of a nothing burger, but Qs were still trending down. They broke above the trend, so we weren't looking for puts anymore until we came back down into a downtrend. And what we were hoping for now is, guys, we need to breach pre-market low on Qs, and then we'll have an 80-cent drop to look forward to if that's the case. And guess what? This was the second trade that I took, and that was it for the day for me. Actually, I'm sorry, I took that back. I took this trade, and I missed this trade, which is unfortunate because it paid a lot better than this one. But besides all that, we had a whole bunch of people get into this trade, but the key is they waited patiently for the right time to get in. We were coming off lower highs. We were breaking support on SPY. We finally breached support on Qs. We had an 80-cent window. We got that and more. Beautiful, beautiful trade. That was one of the most exciting call-outs. I shudder to say that word. That I felt extremely comfortable about. If you asked the people in our community, if you were in there, I was cheering everybody on. I told them, I'm not in this trade because I'm done for the day. I'd already made my money. I'd make good money. By the time we got down to, here, it would have been over a $20,000 day with me if I would have just held on to some of these puts, but it doesn't matter. I don't need to make $20,000 a day. It's ridiculous. However, I was perfectly happy with what I had achieved on this trade and this trade. Okay? Nobody knows that you're going to get a day like this. You hope you do, but you don't know. So why push the envelope? I made enough money to be completely happy today. But I'm also happy helping other people make money, which is kind of my job. Anyway, perfect trade. Got our 80-cent move and plus some. And then we chopped around for a bit. Not much to see there. Okay. Now, naturally, when we're selling off like this and we have a nice downtrend like this, people want to know, Jimmy, when would you buy calls? When would you buy puts? I said, listen. First things first, as long as we're trending down, buy pullbacks, but just be aware of where your next support is. As long as there's room there, take the trade. The problem is when you break the downtrend, which we did here, puts have to come off the table, in my opinion. The only way to get back into puts, there's always two reasons. Number one, you want to break the current pullback or uptrend or whatever you want to call this, and you want to get below the most recent higher low, okay, below that. Well, that's right here, okay? Now, the thing with this trade is that you're expecting it to hopefully get at least to this line, because that's where we stopped before. Actually, we were looking for this low of day. We did get that. So you got in. We broke the uptrend on Qs, and we broke the higher low on SPY, and we were looking for the first line down. We got a lot more than that. We had people staying in this trade. I told everybody, guys, if you're going to stay in this, make sure that the Qs stay below resistance, okay? This gap area, whatever you want to call it. Hope that we close below support. If we get a close below that, we start aiming for lower targets. A lot of people stayed in this trade. This ended up being a monster trade to the downside. We start opening up and getting good space between these lines. And then when we break them, we want to stay below them to continue down. ADD was very much in our favor during all this moves to the downside. And beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trades. What we don't know is which support's going to stop holding or continue to hold and which one's going to fail. So you will always, she was based on Qs for the most part. When we hit lines on the Qs, or SPY, stop drawing them on the Qs because, I feel like if you haven't made any money yet today in this move, nothing I could tell you or show you on the chart's going to make you feel comfortable enough to take some of these trades. So it is what it is. But either way, massive move to the downside. This was over a 200% trade from start to finish. And I only know that because somebody was asking me if you bought calls here and you made it up to here, what would you have made on that? Over 150% on that. So we started a little bit higher. Plus, it always seems to pay better on the downside than it does on the upside, which is ironic. Anyway, when would you be looking for calls, Jimmy? We were putting in higher lows. I said, well, at this point, let's make sure the Qs are above resistances. Let's make sure SPY gets above this double top. If that happens, I think SPY has a very good chance of running up to 559.42. But more importantly, I'd be looking for the Qs to run up to this orange line here. Why? Because as soon as we can get above this double top here or this lower high, I expect the next lower high to be reached, which is right here. It's not here. It's not the pink line. So let's go. Okay, and at this point, ADD was pointing up at the moment, right? 12.19, we go to ADD. And we are printing green on our way up. Well, guess where Qs went? Straight to that resistance. Awesome. So we were looking as a potential exit at 12.23, which was right here. Now, if we close above that, we're looking for the next level up on the Qs, which was right here. Okay, so right around 480.30, which we got to at 12.26. What is that, an exit here for SPY? Sure is. From here, we're looking for the next line up on the Qs, which was right here. Actually, is here we were aiming for. Okay, so somewhere between 12.27 and 12.30. Right there is 12.30 when Qs hit their next resistance. And then the next one up on the Qs was going to be this orange line followed by a move all the way up here. Now, the problem is that we started to stall at 12.30. ADD was still pushing up at the moment. We're moving sideways a little bit at that point, right? So we weren't sure what was going to happen. We knew that the market was red overall, so we're not in a hurry to hold on to calls forever. But until it gives you a reason to get out. So we drew the trend line. Everybody's like, well, when would you buy puts? Would you buy puts up here? I said, no. Same two criteria every time, guys. If we are moving up with higher lows and higher highs, that is an uptrend. Wait for the break of the uptrend in a break below a higher low. Okay? Both of those things are true at 12.47. Now, the first move we're looking for is right to here. But we closed below that after we got in the trade. So naturally, you're looking to the next one, which is right here, which would have gotten you out if you were following that line to that support at 12.49, right? So we got into the trade because of this at 12.47. Sorry, Qs were here, also breaking higher lows here. They had broken their uptrend. Entry was 12.47. The Q support was right down here, which it closed below at 12.50. Then the next one down on the Qs was all the way down here, which we got to and through at 12.54. Okay, guys, just hang on. Halfway through this move, I said, man, it looks like we're going to run right back down to that low a day. There it is. Massive, massive winning trade right there. Congrats to everybody who took it. Furthermore, shortly after this, I went to lunch, so you'll see no entries. We kept diving down after some pullbacks. Came back from lunch, and same rules. We're putting in higher lows, struggling to move higher. When would you buy puts? Well, you got to wait for a break of the trend. Okay, so we have trend here. We broke the trend, but we couldn't get below this lower high or higher low right here. This is what we wanted to get below, both on Qs and SPY. Okay, so that didn't happen until this candle, 254, and we were looking for the move right down to the next support, which is right here. That's about, what was that, an 80-cent move? I think there was a few of us left in the room looking for this trade. Again, I didn't take it. I don't trade this late in the day, but you need them to be quick. We got this set up on both Qs and SPY at the same time. Right down we went, and ADD was moving down at this point. Well, how come you didn't take this one here, Jimmy? I'll tell you why I didn't take this one here. Because if you look at ADD at 310, what was ADD doing? Trending up. We want ADD to be trending down when we take these moves to the downside. It was not when the Qs and SPY crossed that line here. Okay? So we had less momentum. But guess what? When we broke that higher low here, again, let's go check ADD. It was printing red. Told everybody, guys, if you're going to take it now because ADD is in your favor. We're aiming for at least the same level here. We got straight through it and ran right down to the next support anyway. So you had no choice but to make extra money. Damn it. It's really unfortunate when that happens. But that was pretty much it, guys. So great day. Lots of movement up and down. We found great trades to the upside, great trades to the downside, most of which were very clean, very comfortable. And I hope you guys capitalize on some of these moves. And more importantly, I hope you capitalize on some of the information that I'm giving you in these videos, guys. It works. I'm telling you, it works. You don't need 1,000 indicators. You don't need anything more than your eyeballs and your ability to trust a chart. Okay? We want to stack probabilities in our favor so that we have higher odds of winning. Anybody who thinks trading is a 50-50 shot of winning and losing, you're doing it wrong. Yes, I am aware that every trade has the potential to go against you. That's why we have stop losses. But there are absolutely ways to stack the likeliness or the likelihood of a win coming in your favor than not. You just have to have the discipline to develop the patience for that time to take those trades. All right? So we're going to wrap it up. Hope you found some useful information in this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to join our Discord community, we'd love to have you. There's some links down below. Please join us. First week's completely free. If you have any questions about anything that we talk about in these charts, because I do talk fast because I'm trying not to make them so long, just ask them in the comment section, guys. I've been doing this for over 2.5 years, and there's not a single comment that I haven't responded to. Not one in any one of the days that I make any videos, okay? So if you have questions, either jump in our Discord, feel free to ask me. I am available. If you want to ask here on YouTube, simply put a comment in there and I will answer it, okay? But I hope you all had a fantastic day. Till tomorrow, I love you. See ya.